Have you ever looked at a massive company and just wondered, how in the world did they get there? From a couple of people with an idea to a global force? Well, it's not magic, and it's definitely not just luck. It's all about having the right blueprint. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on how organizations are built from the ground up.
It all boils down to one simple thing at the beginning: a shared goal. Doesn't matter if it's creating a revolutionary new app or just making the best coffee on the block. That common purpose is the magnet that pulls the first people together.
But that's the million-dollar question, right? An idea is just an idea. How do you actually build the machine, the teams, the roles, the whole system that can take that goal and make it happen?
To really get our heads around this, let's make it real. We're going to follow the story of a made-up company I'm calling GoGo Gadgets. We'll watch them go from just two founders with a dream to a full-blown company, and we'll see how they tackle each growing pain along the way.
So picture this, the classic startup scene. A garage, two founders, and one big goal: to build the coolest gadgets out there. Right now they're just two people, but believe it or not, they're already an organization. So let's get a formal definition on the table. What even is an organization? Well, it's pretty simple. Just two or more people working together towards a common goal. That's it. So yeah, our two founders in the garage, they officially count.
And success! GoGo Gadgets is a hit, and orders are pouring in. Which is great, right? Well, it's also their first huge problem. The founders are totally swamped. They can't possibly do everything themselves anymore. There's just way too much work.
So what's the solution? They turn to a fundamental business strategy: job specialization. Instead of two people trying to be jacks of all trades, they decide to divide and conquer. They hire someone just for marketing, an engineer just for design, and someone to just handle shipping. Each person gets one job and gets really, really good at it.
But here's the thing about specialization. It's a total balancing act. On the one hand, it's incredibly efficient. People get amazing at their specific task, and things move fast. But on the other hand, doing the exact same thing over and over can get, well, really boring. It can lead to burnout, and honestly, finding that sweet spot is a huge challenge for any business.
All right, so GoGo Gadgets is hiring. They've got their specialists, but this creates the next big headache: chaos. People don't know who to talk to, work is getting duplicated, it's a mess. They need to bring some order to the madness.
And the fix for this kind of chaos? It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's a simple idea: departmentalization. This is literally just the process of grouping those specialized jobs into logical teams. This is the moment the first org chart starts to take shape.
So, how do they do it? Well, GoGo Gadgets has a few options here. They could group people by function. Put all the marketing people together, all the engineers together. Or they could group by product, so there's a mini team for each gadget. They could even organize by location or by the type of customer they're selling to. And as you can see, every single one of these choices has its own upsides and downsides.
Okay, the departments are working, which is great, but here comes the next problem. Every single significant decision, no matter how small, still has to get a sign-off from the two founders. They've become a bottleneck, and the whole company is slowing down because of it.
There is only one way to solve this: delegation. But real delegation isn't just about dumping tasks on someone. It's a three-step process. First, you have to assign clear responsibility. Second, you have to grant the authority, the actual power to get it done. And third, you have to create accountability for the result. Miss any one of those and the whole thing just falls flat.
Now, if you zoom out, this whole idea of who gets to make decisions really defines a company's entire philosophy. You have centralized companies, like a FedEx, where the big decisions stay at the very top. And then you have decentralized companies, like Berkshire Hathaway, where they push that decision-making power way down the ladder, closer to where the action is.
So GoGo Gadgets has figured out specialization, they've created departments, and they're learning how to delegate. Now it's time for the big one: choosing a formal organizational structure. This is the master blueprint that's going to guide how the entire company works.
So what's on the menu? Well, there's the simple line structure, a straight chain of command, perfect for small businesses. Then you have a line and staff structure, which adds specialists like HR or legal to advise the main players. For really complicated stuff, a matrix structure lets people report to two bosses at once. And for maximum agility, a network structure keeps only the essential stuff in-house and outsources the rest. GoGo Gadgets would probably start with a line structure and grow from there.
Okay, now we get to my favorite part. Because you can have the most logical, perfectly drawn-out org chart in the world, hanging on the wall. But it doesn't tell you how things really work. There's a whole other structure running just beneath the surface.
And that is corporate culture. It's the vibe, the unwritten rules. It's the collection of shared beliefs and behaviors that gives a company its actual personality. It determines everything from how people talk in meetings to how they celebrate wins, and it has a massive influence on everyone.
And this idea leads to a brilliant point. The most important information network in any company is never on a chart. It's the grapevine. You know what I'm talking about. The informal chatter, the rumors, the real story that gets passed from person to person. That grapevine often moves way faster and has more impact than any official announcement.
So that leaves us with one final question to chew on. In your own experience, which one really has more power? Is it the formal org chart that management puts on the wall, or is it that informal human network that lives in the hallways and over coffee? That's something to think about.